Welcome to PFT OT on Yahoo Sports. Peter King and Mike Florio talking about some of the biggest issues in the NFL. And a huge game coming up on Sunday night, Peter, on NBC. The Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Dallas for their first of two games this year against the Cowboys. Both teams are 3-3. And the loser of this game is going to have a hard path to the postseason, especially because those wildcard teams likely coming from the other divisions. Which team is in more trouble between the Eagles and the Cowboys going into this one?
Dallas, Mike. I think there is such a churn around so many things right now in Dallas. Number one, Jason Garrett. Everybody is talking about it. Jerry Jones talks about it. Stephen Jones. Everybody is talking about his job status. It just never ends. That has to be just so tiring for everybody associated with that team. But more importantly, this week, you've still got both tackles. Even if Tyron Smith, La'el Collins do play, they're not going to be near 100%. And it's looking more and more like Amari Cooper is not going to play again. So that's another weapon for Dak Prescott against a premier pass rush that he's going to be without. Mike, I think Dallas is in big trouble.
Yeah, Amari Cooper exited early on Sunday night with that quad injury, and his status for Sunday's up in the air. If one or both tackles can't play, it's going to be harder for the Cowboys offense to get going. And the problem for the Cowboys, Peter, has been they fall behind. And they are not built to play from behind. They are built to build a lead and continue to build it and then suffocate you with that running game and pass off of it to deliver the dagger once they're up 7 or 10 points. And I think part of the problem for the Cowboys, the expectations were so high coming into the season. And then they win 3 in a row to push that bar even higher. And it's been a huge disappointment to lose 3 in a row. I think, between the two teams, the Eagles have to feel better about being 3-3 than the Cowboys do, because once the Cowboys started 3-0, we thought they were going to be 5-1 at a minimum through 6 games.
One of the reasons why I didn't pick the Cowboys to make the playoffs before the year, Mike, is that I didn't like their depth. And look, in the first 3-4 weeks of the year, Dak Prescott played a lot better than I thought he would, but he's sort of regressing to the mean the last couple weeks. And I still think there's great question about whether he can be a top 5 quarterback. He certainly has not looked like one, particularly when he is flushed out of the pocket as much as he's been. But I think the other thing about this team that has become worrisome, Mike, that we did not think at the beginning of the year, we thought there was going to be enough pass rush to maybe mask a few deficiencies in that secondary. But that secondary has been burned a lot. Sam Darnold steps out of the, basically out of sick bay, and he comes and he throws a 92-yard pass to Robbie Anderson to basically start this very, very bad day for the Cowboys. And look, that secondary just has to be better. But that's what you can say about a lot of elements of this Dallas team.
Well, and the Eagles have been racked with injuries as well. Their secondary has been banged up. They're hoping to get some guys healthy. And they've been missing receiver DeSean Jackson since week 1. He had a huge impact. They were down 17-0, and Carson Wentz told me after that game, once he hit DeSean Jackson, everything changed. Jackson has barely played since then. He's got an abdominal injury. Apparently it's some sort of a small tear in his groin. The sooner he gets back, the quicker the Eagles can turn this around and open up their offense. I mean, the great irony for the Eagles has been the guy we always worry about, Carson Wentz, getting injured. He's been healthy all year. It's the guys around him that aren't holding up. And I think between the two, I have more faith actually in the Eagles getting it right and moving forward, especially once they get Jackson back, Peter.
I do too. I like the Eagles a little bit better right now, Mike. But you talk about DeSean Jackson. Anybody who takes, and I don't know how old he is, what is he, 32, 33? Anybody who takes a speed merchant, thin as a rail guy and expects him, who's had some injury issues, and expects him to stay healthy at that age, it's a pipe dream. So whatever you get out of him, I thought at the beginning of the year, whatever you got out of him was a bonus. They may have already gotten everything they could get, salvaging one game for them in the early season. So it's probably worth it just for that. But I wouldn't expect much out of him, Mike.
Meanwhile, Cowboys and Eagles are 3-3. Giants are 2-4. They're going to watch this one closely as well. We'll see you for more PFT OT throughout the NFL season.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.